Good morning, students. Welcome to Udan Career Institute. In today's class, we will be starting with chapter 10, that is microbes in human welfare. First of all, starting with the introductory part of this chapter. Now, as we know that apart from the macroscopic plants and animals which we see around us, microbes or microorganisms, they are the major component of the biological system which is present in this earth. So we can say that they also cover a major component of the earth. Now, these microorganisms, if we see, they are found everywhere on the earth. They are present in soil, they are present in water, air, inside our body also we can see that some microorganisms are present, that is inside our gut, and that of other animals and plants also we can see. So within other animals or within the plants also these microorganisms are present. Now these microorganisms, they are present even at those sites where no other living forms can survive. So they are present at those areas also where no other living organisms they can exist or they can survive. Some examples are microorganisms. They are present deep inside the geysers or thermal vents where the temperature is around 100 degrees Celsius. They are present deep inside the soil. They are also present under the layers of snow which is several meters thick. They are also present in highly acidic environment. They can survive there also. So these microorganisms, they are very diverse in nature. They can survive in extreme situations. So there are various different kind of microorganisms which we have found that one is protozoa, bacteria, fungi, and microscopic and animal and plant viruses. There are also viroids which are also microscopic, and there are prions that are the proteinaceous infectious agents. So these are all different forms of microorganisms which are found on the earth. Now microorganisms like bacteria and many fungi, they have an ability to grow on a nutritive media. So if you take some nutritive media and if you keep that nutritive media outside, then you can see that bacteria or fungi, they can grow on this nutritive media. So once this bacteria and fungi, once they grow on this nutritive media, they start forming colonies. And these colonies, they can be seen with naked eyes. As we know that bacteria and fungi, they cannot be easily seen with naked eyes, but when they grow in a nutritive media in the form of a colony, these colonies can be seen with naked eyes. Such cultures or such nutritive media containing microorganisms, they are used nowadays to perform various research studies on microorganisms also. Now, if you see the diagram which has been shown here, then the diagram 1, it consists of, in case of A, it is the bacteria, where we can see that there are the rod-shaped bacteria. In the diagram B, we can see there are spherical shaped bacteria. And the diagram C, it shows a rod-shaped bacteria showing flagella and which has been magnified 50,000 times. So basically, these are different forms of bacteria or different shapes of bacteria. Now, when we see on the other side of the diagram, it is the diagram of a virus. It is the figure of virus, where diagram A, it is a bacteriophage. Diagram B, it is an adenovirus, which causes respiratory infection. And diagram C, it is a rod-shaped tobacco mosaic virus known as TMV, which has been magnified 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh times. Now, if you see this diagram, as we have discussed that these microorganisms, they can grow in nutritive media and they can form colonies. The diagram A, it shows there are spherical colonies of bacteria which has been grown on a petri plate or petri dish. And the diagram B, it shows a green colored fungal colony which is growing on a petri dish. So this is how we can identify the growth of bacteria and fungi which has grown in the form of colonies, and these colonies can be used for further research purpose on that particular microorganisms. Now, moving to another topic, that is microbes and their uses. Now, this is a statement where you would be thinking that how microorganisms are useful, because mostly, as we know, that we have gone with different chapters where we have studied that microorganisms, they mainly cause infection. But here the topic is microorganisms and their uses. So microorganisms, they cause large number of disease in human beings, that we know. But they are also helpful to us because they can cause disease in animals and plants, but it does not mean that all microorganisms are harmful in nature. There are several other microorganisms which are highly useful to human beings in various different ways. Some of the most important contribution of microorganisms to human welfare, or how they are used for our purpose, for human welfare purpose, are discussed in this particular chapter. Now we will go with the first one, that how microorganisms are useful in our household products. Now we would be surprised to know that we use microorganisms and their products in our day-to-day life. So these microorganisms, they are useful in every day of our life. So basically we don't know that we are using these microorganisms daily, because we still till now we were just knowing that microorganisms are just causing infection, or they are causing disease to humans, plants and animals. But these microorganisms are useful to us, and we use these microorganisms every day. The example is, microorganisms are used in the production of curd. This curd is used every day in our home. They are also used for the formation of dough, the dough which we prepare for making roti, as well as the dough which we use to prepare bread. It is also, microorganisms are also used for the production of cheese also, and various different beverages also. So these microorganisms are highly useful in our household products. Now first we'll be going with the use of microorganisms in curd. Now, curd is considered as one of the most important example of our household product, where microorganism is useful in the development of curd from milk. Now, as all of us know that curd is developed from milk, how the milk gets converted into curd, it is because of the microorganism which is useful to us. It helps in converting milk into curd. Now, microorganism, example, lactobacillus and other commonly known as lactic acid bacteria, they grow in milk and they convert milk into curd. So this lactobacillus, it converts milk into curd. In milk, this bacteria, that is lactobacillus, it converts the lactose into lactic acid. Now we have seen at our home that whenever we prepare curd, we used to take a small amount of curd as a starter, and we add this small amount of curd into fresh milk as an inoculum. So this small amount of curd which is added to the milk is considered as starter or as an inoculum. And this inoculum which we are adding to the milk, it contains millions of lactic acid bacteria, which at a particular temperature they will multiply and they will convert milk into curd. So the mechanism of converting milk into curd is, it is converting lactose into lactic acid. Now during growth, the LAB, that is lactic acid bacteria, will produce lactic acids, and this lactic acid will coagulate the milk. They will partially digest the milk protein, that is casein, and because of this milk will coagulate and it will get converted into curd. So this is an important function of lactic acid bacteria. Lactic acid bacteria will convert lactose present in the milk into lactic acid, which will coagulate and partially digest the milk protein casein. So casein is the milk protein which gets digested by the lactic acid, and this is what the reason behind converting milk into curd. Now when milk gets converted into curd, this curd has important nutritional quality. Curd, it consists of higher amount of vitamin B12 content inside it. As a result, the nutritional quality of the curd is also improved by this bacteria. Now there are number of other organic acids are also present in this curd. In our stomach also, lactic acid bacteria plays a very beneficial role in checking disease causing microorganisms. So it also helps to maintain our healthy condition by checking disease causing microorganisms and preventing us from diseases. So students, in the next class we will start with the another household product where microorganisms are useful in our day to day life. Thank you very much.